Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new channel. I'm very excited to be creating my first video, and I'm very excited that you've chosen to empower yourself and learn a little bit about your choices in filing or possibly filing an exemption for immunizations for either yourself or your children. Um, so, first of all, this is my first video. I am just randomly going to be posting videos on topics that I find interesting, and hopefully, they can also give you a little bit of information. And I just thought of the idea to start this because there's things that I search for on YouTube sometimes that I can't necessarily find the answers for, or the videos are way too long. So, I'm going to try to keep it to a minimum. Um, but I did want to go ahead and say welcome. And if you have a second or two, if you could please hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. Okay, so this video is about claiming an immunization exemption for the state of Texas. Um, I wish I could help everybody else that's not in the state of Texas or trying to do this from my understanding and while I was doing my research. Um, the process for all the rest of the states is pretty similar. And hopefully you'd be a little bit more familiar with the uh, Department of Health for your state. It was fairly easy for me to find information for Texas, and I've actually filed exemptions for my kids since they were very little. They're older now, so I've done this a few times. And feel free to post questions in the comment section, and I'll answer them the best that I can. So immunization exemptions in Texas, they're fairly easy to do. I do want to say that this video is not intended for it to be a discussion of vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers. It's just an informative video, no matter what you choose to do or if you choose not to claim an exemption. I just feel like kids are so young and they get a lot of different vaccines in their system early on and very regularly, and they don't necessarily, in my opinion, need all of those at the same time. So do the research for your area. One example being rabies. Kids are required to get a rabies vaccine, but maybe in the area where you live in, the chances of your kid contracting rabies is very low. So before injecting your child with all these things that are going to reshape their immune system, I would definitely do my research. Um, so that's number one. So let's go ahead. Once you're ready to file your exemption, you're going to go to the Texas Health and Human Services webpage. You're going to easily find a link to how to file exemptions for school immunizations. And there's various reasons that you can use to file an exemption. It could be medical reasons, or if you're in the Army, or your child is in the Army, or you're any type of member of the armed services or serve our country, you can file those exemptions. But I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the majority of us that are requesting an exemption for just reasons of conscience. So it could be either religious beliefs, or maybe you just don't feel like it. You just don't feel like it's right. It's just not sitting right with you. Whatever other reasons, if you don't fall into the first two, medical or army member reasons, that's the one we're going to discuss today, is exemption for reasons of conscience. So that's what you would click on. And basically the process is you're gonna go online and request an affidavit that's going to have to be filled out. Now, you can do this online, which I feel like is the fastest way, but you can also download the form and fill it out and mail it. So, this link that you see on the screen right now for requesting an exemption for reasons of conscience is going to take you to both of those options. Okay, if you choose to do it online or mail it, you're going to need some information for your children. So you're going to need their full names, you're going to need their birth dates, You're going to need the complete mailing address for each of your kids, and you're going to need a telephone number. You can use one form to request various affidavits for up to 5 kids. But you definitely can send more than one form at a time if you have more than that. So you are going to have to fill it out and put all that information into the form, and I'm going to show you what the form looks like. Now, once you follow the links, it's going to take you to this form. Again, this is the form for the state of Texas. So you're going to fill in the form exactly like it looks, and at the bottom it's going to have a submit button. So this is basically the form. It's super easy. You put in the names, the birthdays, the address, the telephone number, and at the bottom you see a section for spaces for up to 5 children, and you're going to hit submit. That's basically as easy as it is. Once you submit that form and it's free, you're going to receive the affidavit in the mail. And once you get that affidavit in the mail, it's already going to have, each form is going to have each of your kids' names and birthdays already on the form. All you have to do, and I'm sorry I wasn't able to find a sample affidavit on the internet or an image of it, but all you're going to do is select the vaccines you don't want your child to get or that you want them to be exempt from. So you're gonna, it has check boxes, it has the names of the vaccines. I believe I'm looking at mine right now, it's 10 different vaccines that you can check off, particular ones that you don't want them to have. And you're definitely not obligated to check all of them or none of them. You can select the ones you don't need. And you're going to just check that off. Now, you're not going to do anything else with that or fill anything else out or sign the form yet, because you're going to have to get this form notarized. And that's a mistake also that people have told me that they've done, and then they have to go back online and resubmit a request for another form. So please don't sign it, because you have to sign it in front of the notary. So before you sign it, take it to get notarized, sign it in front of the notary, and you're done. I will say that it seems almost too easy. There's nothing else you need to do with the form. You don't need to send it anywhere. You don't need to send it anywhere at all. You want to provide originals to the school. A school is not going to take copies of these affidavits. They're going to keep the originals on file. So you don't have to send this anywhere else. The form is going to have a number on it that the state of Texas is already tracking for that child. So that's basically it. You're going to keep your originals and give them to the school. I would make copies and keep for yourself for your own records. And just please know that the form expires 2 years from the date that the notary signed it. So let's say they get vaccines in the 4th grade and then they need to take new vaccines in the 7th grade. You would have to request for a new affidavit for exemptions for 7th grade, because the original form would have been expired. Other than that, it's that simple. So I will include a link in the description below to where you can go see the schedule of required vaccines for school-aged kids and what grades and ages and what vaccines are required for those grades and ages, which I find very helpful. And if you want to do a little digging further, you can also find descriptions of all the diseases and likelihoods and what's the worst that can happen, which ones are fatal, how do you get them, and just more information about the diseases that you're vaccinating against. And that's something that if you have a little bit of time, I definitely would think it's super important and will not be time wasted. So please know your options. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for keeping yourself informed. Please be nice in the comments and please like this video and stay tuned.